Do real estate investors need a license? This is a question that I get all the time from Ask Noel. And this is a question that has a kind of weird answer, so I'm going to have to make an entire video to talk about which licenses are needed and, more importantly, which licenses are not. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. You gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
In this video, I'm going to give you a straightforward process on what licenses are needed for real estate investors, and again, more importantly, which licenses are not needed. I'm going to share with you the 3 easiest ways to get the licenses and the accreditations that you need to make sure that you are credible on day one. And last but not least, I'm going to share with you the biggest trick that real estate investors fall for, especially when they first get started. Real estate investing has been one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. I have made more money investing in real estate than I ever did working any job. I have been more stable, more consistent, and I have been able to enjoy my time. Real estate investing allows me to control my time, own my freedom. I'm able to go look at properties when I want to. I'm able to do so many different things. I'm going to explain to you all of the different ways that you can make money in real estate investing and which licenses are needed in order to do it. But again, many cases, no license is required at all. So let's talk about it. So when it comes to real estate investing, there are 3 major things that people do in real estate investing. If you have no money and bad credit, most people will start with wholesaling. Wholesaling is literally when you assign contracts from one person to another for a fee. I'll get into that in just a second. If you don't know what it is, I have an entire playlist where I teach you on how to wholesale real estate. The second most popular thing in real estate investing is fixing and flipping. But people think this is the #1 thing to do because this is what all of the TV shows on HGTV and things like that is about. Fixing and flipping is about buying a property at a low amount, adding value to it through renovations and rehabbing, and then selling the property for a profit after it is already fixed. And the last thing that most people do in real estate investing is rental properties, otherwise known as buy and holds. So many times you can create an entire portfolio of real estate where you can replace your income, you can have passive income, you don't have to manage the properties yourself, and you are getting lump sums of cash every few years by selling off your portfolio and getting more properties. You literally can build wealth through a real estate portfolio, and it doesn't require much of your time, and in some cases you don't even have to use any of your own money. So let's talk about the licensing and what's required to do any of those 3 primary things that we do in real estate investing. As a real estate investor, I strongly suggest you get your business registered with the Secretary of State. Many people think that to be a real estate investor, they should get their real estate license. I do not think that if you want to invest in real estate, you should get your real estate license. Let me explain. I am a licensed broker, and I actually have been a licensed real estate agent since 2006. And in fact, I've even had my real estate license in Georgia, Texas, Virginia, and now Florida. So I know about having a real estate license. And I will tell you, having a real estate agent's license is very different than being a real estate investor. It is 2 completely different tracks. It is 2 completely different educational paths, and you are doing 2 completely different things each day. As a real estate agent, you are helping clients buy or sell homes. Either you're working with buyers and you're showing them properties, or you're working with sellers and you're trying to get them to let you list their homes, and you put them in MLS and you schedule the showings and different things like that. But as a real estate investor, your goal is to find distressed properties and start making money on them. As a real estate investor, your 3 primary things with real estate is the golden trinity. We call it the golden trinity because it's 3 major things that real estate offers that almost no other investment does. Number 1, cash flow. Number 2, equity. And number 3, appreciation. Now, you heard me say those 3 things, and none of those 3 things have anything to do with real estate agent. Therefore, getting a real estate license and going down that educational path really is not helpful for you being able to define how to get properties at a discount, how to make them cash flow, how to, the equity in them, and keep track of the appreciation, where you are buying properties so that they go up in value over time. Now Now that you know you don't need a real estate agent's license in order to be a real estate investor, let's talk about what you do need. As I mentioned before, you will get your business registered with the Secretary of State as a real estate investor. You are going to get either an LLC, a S Corp, or a C Corp, very simple business registration. Now, Noelle Randall is not an attorney or a tax professional, so I'm not going to advise you on what type of business structure that you should get, but I will say I have gotten many LLCs, and so do many of my students. So for most, that would probably be the type of entity in the structure that you will get registered with your Secretary of State. The second thing that you're going to do is get an EIN, which stands for Employer Identification Number. This is very simple. You can get this absolutely free just by going to irs.gov. The next thing that you want to make sure is that you have a professional phone number, a professional email, and a professional website. Once you have all 5 of these things, that's pretty much all you need to become a real estate investor. You do not need to have great credit. You do not need to have tons of money. You literally just need to have a business set up, and this will allow you to start marketing to find people that are having property problems. As a real estate investor, your number one goal is to be able to find properties at a discount. When you're able to find properties at a discount, it opens the door to all of the different things that you can do with properties. For example, I said you could wholesale the property, meaning you find somebody that's behind on their payment, you get them under contract, you flip that contract to an investor for a $5,000 fee. Easy. Or you might have good credit, you can get a hard money loan, you might start in fixing and flipping. That way you can renovate the property, and just know that the average property on a fix and flip last year was over $65,000, okay? So literally just think, if you could just do 1 or 2 deals per year, how many fix and flips would you need? That's an amazing thing to do. Or you might say, I want a lot of rental properties. I want to work on my cash flow. I want to keep these properties. I want to sell them off every few years. I want to build a rental portfolio. Well, you can do this, and that's an easy thing to do when you market and start finding people that are in distress. This is going to give you more options on what you can do. So instead of just working with a real estate agent and finding properties that are retail, you literally can find people that are behind on their payment, in bankruptcy and divorce, things like that, and create an entire rental portfolio that way. That way you will literally have not only the cash flow that comes from rental properties, you will start immediately with equity, because again, they were losing the home, so they probably put down a down payment, they probably paid some mortgage payments and things like that, so they have some equity that comes immediately to you. And then last but not least, it is real estate. And statistically speaking, real estate has gone up in value every single year. There's only been 2 times in the past 100 years where real estate has gone down, and of course one of them was the big recession in 2008, and prior to that was in the depression of 1929. You take those 2 major events out of the economy, and real estate has been one of the most stable and consistent investments over the past 100 years, so having rental properties only makes sense. Now, if you are really interested in the second thing that I said, fixing and flipping, you know that fixing and flipping can be an amazing and fun thing to do. However, it actually is one of the most riskiest things that you can do in real estate investing, and I'm going to share with you why. The reason that fixing and flipping is one of the most riskiest things in real estate investing, but one of the most profitable, is because of the renovation. Obviously, once you start renovating a property, especially if you decide to do a major renovation that's really going to bring the value up, that opens the door to a lot more risk that you were not aware of. You may start pulling down walls and find that the plumbing needs to be done, or the electricity needs to be redone, or some other major HVAC or type of repair needs to be done that you had not planned for. And this is why fixing and flipping is one of the most riskiest things, because once you start the renovation, the cost of what you had planned to do could easily go up. Additionally, as you start tearing the property down, there could be unforeseen things like your contractor not being qualified, or your contractor getting sick, or the team not showing up on time, or the project taking longer than you had initially anticipated. So again, there's so many different factors during that renovation period that really changes and makes it the most riskiest of the 3 things that you can do in investing. However, I said it is the most profitable for this reason. So usually the the thing that has the most amount of risk usually has the most amount of profit. And that is why if you are first getting started with real estate investing, I strongly suggest you do not start with fixing and flipping. You will usually, and again, this is how I ended up in my parents' basement, broke, bankrupt with bad credit, is because I started flipping houses. I had no idea what I was doing. I skipped over some of the lower stuff. I used my own money. I used my own credit, and I lost everything. So if you want to be successful in this, I strongly suggest you start with the lower thing, master that, then start doing fixing and flipping, because all of the skills that you have from wholesaling, meaning finding people with property problems, getting them under contract, learning the numbers so that you can show those properties to a fix and flipper investor, those will set you up to be a good fix and flipper yourself. So I strongly recommend you go from wholesaling to fixing and flipping to rental properties, and this is how you can make millions of dollars investing in real estate. But don't skip any of the steps. I have 4 books that I have written, and they are about to go out of print. So this is your last chance to get all 4 of my books absolutely free. You just cover the shipping. Go to 𝗏𝑒𝑙�ls-bookoffer.com to get all 4 of my books. Real Estate Millionaire Secrets is the book that I poured my heart into and that can really help you become the real estate investor that you want. My other books are about different things that you can do with building business credit and getting business funding, and even the short-term rental game. Like literally, I make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of my Airbnb properties, but this was after I did long-term rentals. All 4 of these books will show you how to make money in real estate and how to use business credit and cars to make even more money. You can get all 4 of these books absolutely free. You just cover the shipping at 𝗏𝑒𝑙𝑠bookoffer.com. That's Noelle, N-O-E-L-L-E with an S, book, B-O-O-K, offer, O-F-F-E-R. 𝗏𝑒𝑙𝑠bookoffer.com. Get all 4 of these books. We will ship them to you today. You just cover the shipping, because I just want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.